Welcome back to Screen Zen. I'm Jason. Now, we're talking about Joker 2 today. Was this a bad movie, or was this misunderstood? Was it just too deep for the general audience? That's what I'm gonna find out. Don't forget to hit that like and subscribe button if you're new to the channel so you don't miss any more movies that I'm putting out. What was this movie about? Struggling with his dual identity, failed comedian Arthur Fleck meets the love of his life, Harley Quinn, while incarcerated at Arkham State Hospital. Todd Phillips, the director, did such a great job with the first movie that I thought that this was gonna rake in a boatload of money just off the strength of the first one. I was sadly mistaken. Out of a budget of $300 million, this only made $120 some odd million. But just because people didn't go see it, doesn't make it a bad film. If you're looking for some standouts, they were there. It was still a visually appealing film. The look, artistry of the set design, as well as the costume design, this was all just like the first film. In your face, colorful when it needs to, for contrast, and even Arkham looked great. Looking at the film, inside the hospital, outside the hospital, it just gave Batman. But Lady Gaga actually didn't do a bad job. Just looking at her from an acting perspective, we know she's coming off of A Star is Born, I think that was her debut. There's no inkling in my mind that tells me that she can't act. In this, she acted well. Joaquin Phoenix came right back as Arthur Fleck and the Joker. So these two coming together, it was actually good to see in some scenes on screen. Because of the first Joker movie, I expected a lot of things just to go over my head that I'm not gonna recognize or see right away, might not understand 100%. I actually walked out thinking, maybe I missed something. But I knew one thing for sure, it was going to be a musical. And they've been telling us that it would be a musical. I'm not sure why everyone is now upset that it's a musical. If anything about the music, I wish that it was consistent. So they do a good job, I'll say, allowing us to understand what's going on inside Arthur's mind versus outside. You'll notice if the singing is bad, especially in the beginning, probably not in his head. But when the singing goes into full production with a band and the colors pop, you know you're in his head, right? Lady Gaga's in this, so I expected all of them to be bangers, all of them to be masterpieces. Maybe that's not what this was. I expected La La Land out here. But while we're on the topic, even to get to the good stuff, we had to sit there for an hour through a beginning that really dragged. The first 20 minutes, I was like, okay, great, we're trying to understand, the next phase of Arthur, like what's he going through? He's in prison now, okay, what's the setup, right? Even that felt too long. The songs did get better, but just that dragging hour before we actually get to a trial or the good meat and potatoes of the movie, it was way too long. I just wish that this movie kept the trajectory of the first film. And I'm talking about after the first film, he's Joker. Like he took on that role. He's on the show, killing, you know what I mean? He don't care. He's outside. Hey, these are my people, right? At the end. But this one is like he reverted back to who he was. And yes, I know he has an issue, a dual identity. Where was that towards the end of the first film? Like he wasn't switching as much as he was in this movie. He was going back and forth. I wanted to see like him believing, okay, I'm Joker now. Let's see during the trial, in jail. I want to see what that gets him as Joker. Harley was right there with him because when he turned back into Arthur, she reminded him of his greatness. Like, nah, you're the Joker. You could do anything you want, right? Encouraging him, right? He would just revert back to Arthur again. And I blame Brendan Gleeson, who plays the guard. I'm convinced that this man beat the Joker out of Arthur. He couldn't be Joker with this guy around. Put him back in the right mind state. And even questioning himself for the movie. I actually think this was intentional by Todd Phillips, who recently said that he's done with Joker. He made this movie as a way out. Given the ending, given everything that Arthur had to go through, it was almost like the character shrunk back. At least in my mind, he did. He wasn't fully Joker. So the ending makes sense if you know. This movie really felt like Arthur coming to grips with reality and himself. And I don't think that's what people wanted. Guys, I gave this movie a 2.5 out of 5. Although the visual effects were great, costume design was on point, and the acting was good. It was the incorporation of the songs that were a little bit lackluster. Hit or miss, actually. The trajectory of the character, where it leads Arthur at the end, felt a little lazy, and I wanted more from the Joker. Harry Lautner played Harvey Dent. What happened to him? Todd really did not want to continue on with this, and you can tell. It took me off of my expectations, but maybe not in a good way. Guys, as always, I have more movies here, and I look forward to seeing you all in the next one.